Hello everybody and welcome back to more of the Labyrinth of Grisaia. In the last episode, Yuji learns that everybody in his group is like family to him and that he wants to protect, and that is how he was able to finally kill another man. And now Robbie's going to recount us with this lovely tale about someone with a sewn up mouth.
なんだそりゃ。どんな話だ。
太平洋戦争中の話だ。その海軍戦闘機搭乗員だった男は、ある日ゼロに撃墜されて負傷した。
Sounds like a real humdinger, doesn't it?
顔面を軽基板で強打し、顔に何針もの怪我をして、衛生兵すら満足にいない南の島で治療を受け。
Oh, wow.
その男は口が開かないほどに縫い付けられてしまった。やがて怪我もだいぶ癒えた男は、搭乗員として復帰したが、縫われた口だけは開かず、言い訳も不満すらも口にしない男となり、口を聞けないのをいいことに危険な認知へと飛ばされ、多くの仲間の悲壮な死に直面したそうだ。
That's horrible.
やがて終戦を迎え、生きて復員した男は仲間の遺品と共に帰国したが、男は最後まで戦争のことは一言も語らなかったんだとさ。
Well, how could he?
だ、面白いだろ？
Well, not funny. That's sad.
それのどこが面白いってのさ。
だからさ、男が生き残れた理由は、何を見ても何を経験しても何も喋らなかったからなんだよ。軍では余計なことを喋らない奴が長生きするって、そういうお話さ。
救われない話だな。
Exactly. So it was awful. It's probably got the right message, though.
戦争に正しいも間違いもねえよ。
Well, fair enough. In time, our Bushdog platoon completed its period of deployment, and we returned to the United States. The things we saw and the things we did probably don't bear repeating. That's how terrible they were, how terrible that place was. But now that I had completed my second term practical training, my pre-existing orders were to return immediately to Japan, where I'd begin training for appointment as a member of CIRS or CERS.
どうしても日本へ帰るのか?
Oh.
貴様の腕ならこのままこの国でいくらでも仕事はあるぞ。
That's a face we haven't seen in a while. Good old Captain Garrett. I appreciate it, but Asako's in Japan, you know? Kinda want to go back. Although she'd accompanied me on the trip over to America, Asako apparently hadn't found her job as a hunting school instructor particularly enjoyable. According to JB, she returned to Japan around the same time my second term deployment was decided. Right now, I just want to see Asako as soon as I possibly could, you know? It's been a while since we've seen her. She probably misses us. It's not like I'm that attached to Japan, but it's still my home country, I guess, you know?
そうか。ならば無理に引き止めることはしないでおこう。
Who knows, maybe we'll meet again sometime. If there's ever a job only I can do, just give me a call. And on your terms, I'll come help out anytime. I mean it.
捨て駒正体のヤブ犬が随分とでかい口を叩くようになったじゃないか。
Guess I figured I could get away with it by now. Anyway, I think I need to get going. Thanks for everything, Annie.
制服を着た私をアニーと呼ぶな、バカ者め。
Sorry, Captain Garrett. Thank you for everything. I, Corporal Kazami Yuji, hope to be of service to you again.
達者でな。
見送らないでいいのか。お前の大好きなジギーが日本に帰っちまうんだぞ。
さよならは昨日もう済ませた。
I'm gonna miss these guys, you
も
know?
ういい。
Even Robert Walson.
あんたこそ見送りに行かないでいいのかよ。
男に見送られたって嬉しかねえだろ。こういうのはやっぱり女の任務だ。まあ、本当にいいのか？
しつこいな。いいんだよ。ジーニーにしてみりゃ、てめえが振った女に見送られたら、それこそ迷惑じゃんか。
やっと振られたことを認めたか。
うるせえ、どっか行っちまえよ。
邪魔したな。俺は仕事に戻るぜ。泣くなら俺がいなくなってからにしてくれ。うぜえから。
うるせえ、バカ野郎。ずっと一緒にはいられない。そんなことはもうずいぶん前から分かっていた。もう 会わない方がいい。そんなことは私が一番よくわかっている。今会えばきっと私はどうしようもなくうざい女になる。うざい女が口にする余計な言葉をジーニーに言ってしまう。惚れた男を困らせるだけのクソみたいな女になる。そんなことをすればずっと我慢してきた私は何だったんだって絶対に後悔する。今の私には祈ることしかできない。神様、どうか私のジーニーに幸運を。できることならこの世のすべての幸せをジーニーにどうかお願いします。彼の行く末にありったけの幸運を。
My arrival had been sudden, and my departure was equally so. When I went to the airport listed on my orders from Sirs, I found a handful of transport planes waiting there, standing by to return a number of Japanese workers to their country. Joining the group of workers, I boarded at dusk. After a bit of almost reluctant circling, the plane turned its nose towards Japan and flew off. Goodbye, America. And soon, on a somewhat blustery day, I made my way back to that mountain with my face to the wind. Not knowing the purpose of my life, or what I could even accomplish with it, I'd set off boldly on an ambitious journey, and in the end I wasn't bringing anything like an answer home with me. But even so, when I look back on it now, it hadn't all been terror and pain. Something about the sight of this familiar mountain trail made me feel like my old life was waiting for me here, just as it had been, and I found a small sense of happiness growing inside me. When I reached the cabin, Asako was sitting on the stairs outside drinking a beer, just like she always did, waiting for me.
よー、意外と早かったな。
Asako.
おかえり。ちっとは男らしい顔になったんじゃねえか?
Nothing had changed. I hadn't been able to change anything about myself, but even so, when I saw Asako's face and realized she hadn't changed a bit, I felt tears welling up in my eyes. I didn't even know why. I was just so relieved. For some reason, the tears just wouldn't stop. I thought it was impossible for someone like me to live a normal life no matter how I tried. The biggest problem, of course, was that I didn't know what a normal life even meant. But Asako was here for me. She'd waited to welcome me home. Her cooking was as shockingly terrible as ever. But somehow it was the most delicious garbage I'd ever tasted. These trivial little things were probably what normal was. I finally understood that now, and in this moment, I realized for the first time that my life no longer seemed quite so meaningless. Asako,
おいおい、泣くなよ。どうした?辛かったか?
Asako, for the first time in my life, I'm glad to be alive. Asako's smell, Asako's softness, it all filled me with nostalgia. I realized in that moment that normalcy wasn't about your environment or your circumstances, it was about the people you shared them with. I'd come back home. I'd come back to this woman, to Kusakabe Asako. All that crap about national defense was nothing more than a facade. The only thing I really wanted to defend was a single person. Hey, Asako. Is there anything I can do with myself?
なんだってできるさ。
Look, I know that sounds pathetic, but I just don't know how to use the rest of my life. So I'll just give it all to you, Asako. Asako?
いらねえよ、バカ。
I see. Guess I shouldn't have expected her to spoil me that rotten. She was probably telling me, a man should be able to figure out the path he's going to fall for himself. And so I decided to climb the slope known as Ichigaya. I completed my training period in America and gained actual combat experience, but back in Japan, they weren't about to shake my hand and immediately appoint me an active member of SIRS. Japan had its own set of rules, and I couldn't work there until I obtained the necessary qualifications. A lot like a driver's license. When you move to a new country, you have to pass that country's tests. In order to obtain my domestic license, I needed to train with a newly formed Special Ops unit based in Narishino, and earn an evaluation of excellent for my specialized skills.
貴様が海兵隊出身の新人だな。
How did you know, sir?
行進の時、手の甲が前を向いている。日本では手の甲は横だ。というか、話には聞いていたが、本当にガキだな。ガキのくせに嫌な目をしてやがる。
The eyes of someone who's killed before, sir.
だろうな。正直俺は、お前のようなやつをうちの連中に混ぜてやるつもりはない。適当にやって適当に出ていけ。適当という言葉の意味は理解しているな。
Sir, yes, sir.
お前は好きにやれ。訓練表は持っているな。今日は A コースだ。かかれ。
Sir, yes, sir. Being neglected completely wasn't so bad. It was a lot less stressful for one thing. For the most part, I silently carried out my training as directed by the exercise list, recorded my own results, and presented them to the instructor. That said, I couldn't risk getting sloppy just because I wasn't being observed. One day I looked over to find the instructor Kuwahara was watching me even as he directed the other trainees who'd been chosen for his team.
風見御所、こっちへ来て手本を見せてやれ。
Yes, what do you need, sir?
アメリカ帰りの貴様に一国で完結する戦力を持たなかった我々との違いというやつを見せてもらうじゃないか。武藤、貴様が相手をしてもらえ。はい。
I was familiar with this Muto who'd responded energetically to the instructor's orders. I met him on my first day in Narishino as I was packing my belongings in my locker among the other team members.
なんだお前、ずいぶんと若いな。どこから来た？よせ、そいつは外資の人間だ。関わるな。外資？ってなんすかそれ？武藤さん、こいつのこと知ってるんですか？知らんよ。だが外資ってのは言葉の通りだ。外国資本組織。つまり赤坂の息のかかった人間だ。すんません、俺アホなもんで、もう少しわかりやすく。そいつはな、国籍こそ日本だが、アメリカ中央情報局が現地調達した工作員なんだよ。
Oh, he makes this sound so cool, doesn't he? Locally procured CIA operative.
マジっすか？なんすかそれ？こいつアメリカのスパイなんすか？ガキみてえだからって舐めない方がいいぞ。外資に拾われてるってことは、こいつ相当ヤバいぞ。ヤバいって何がっすか？何人か殺してるんじゃないか？外資に拾われる連中ってのは、元テロリストとか死刑になってもおかしくないような凶悪犯罪者だってのが相場だ。人に向けた銃の引き金を引くときに悩まないやつ。そんなやつを手っ取り早く選ぶとなりゃ、そういう連中を集めるのが一番面倒がないからな。
Well, I understood that he hated me. Everyone else had worked their way through an extended curriculum, earned all sorts of qualifications, and endured a harsh gauntlet of selection exams to secure their place here. Can't have been too pleasant to see someone strolling casually through the door with nothing except a bit of practical experience abroad. The instructors probably wanted to throw us against each other in order to establish a clear hierarchy within the unit.
貴様らには模擬格闘戦をやってもらおう。いいか風見。この武藤という男は、私が受け持つ班の中でも特に成績が振るっている注目株で、教官の間でも株様として高い評価を得ている。
Mr. Blue Chip.
そんなうちの株様とアメリカ帰りの殺人装置。どっちが優秀でどれほどの性能差があるか見せてもらおう。いいな、風見。
Yes.
おい、株様。貴様もいいな。俺に恥をかかせるなよ。バッジ持ちの意地、見せてみろ。連長！使用する武器は自由。模擬弾の使用を許可する。始め！
Wait, training daggers? What? You know, the words were leaving our instructor's mouth. Muto reached to his waist. unsheathed the blunt knife with his teeth ground off, and took his stance. There were roughly 3 meters between us. Damn! I clicked my tongue in irritation, resisting the urge to curse out loud. The training dagger we'd been authorized to use wasn't available to me at present. I'd taken my knife off along with my hip bag before going prone for rifle practice. It was still lying in my padded gun case halfway across the yard. Somehow I doubt they're gonna let me run over and get it. When you're on the battlefield, making excuses isn't exactly an option. This was a simulation of actual combat. The instructor was presumably evaluating our ability to make use of the cards we've been dealt. This is gonna be a little tricky. Are we gonna be able to fight Muto? Who knows? We're gonna find out next time on the Fruit of... no, wrong game. Labyrinth of Grisaia. Take it easy, guys.